Good morning. Today we are going to explore the uses of our five senses and learn how to use each of our five senses. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Great. And raise your hand if you can see me. Excellent. These are the questions that seem very easy to answer, but in answering them you're actually using your senses. We've been learning about our five senses. Okay, let's name them. First we have sight. And taste, touch, and hearing, and smell. Great. So let's also talk about the body parts that go with each of these senses. Okay, good. So sight is your eyes. Taste, mouth, and touch, your hands. Hearing is your ears, and smell is your nose. Great. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read a book called My Five Senses. And in the book, it discusses our five senses and how they're used. So again, today we're going to help us explore the uses of our five senses. My five senses. I can see. I can see with my eyes. I can hear. I can hear with my ears. I can smell. I can smell with my nose. I can taste. I can taste with my tongue. I can touch. I touch with my fingers. I do all this with my senses. I have five senses. When I see the sun or a frog, or my baby sister, I use my sense of sight. I am seeing. When I hear a drum or a fire engine or a bird, I use my sense of hearing. I am hearing. When I smell soap or a pine tree or cookies just out of the oven, I use my sense of smell. I am smelling. When I drink my milk and eat my food, I use my sense of taste. I am tasting. When I touch a kitten or a balloon or water, I use my sense of touch. I am touching. Sometimes I use all my senses at once. Sometimes I use only one. I often play a game with myself. I guess how many senses I am using at that time. When I look at the moon and the stars, I use one sense. I am seeing. When I laugh and play with my puppy, I use four senses. I see, I hear, I smell, and touch. When I bounce a ball, I use three senses. I see, hear, and touch. Sometimes I use more of one sense and less of another, but each sense is very important to me because it makes me aware. To be aware is to see all there is to see. Hear, there is all to hear. Smell, all there is to smell. Taste, all there is to taste. Touch, all there is to touch. Wherever I go, whatever I do, every minute of the day, my senses are working. They make me aware. Okay, so now that we're done with our book, we're going to create our five senses masks. I'm going to give everyone two sheets of paper. One has a mask and the other has different parts of our face. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut the parts out and attach them to the mask. So I already cut mine out. Here's our mask. Okay, and it shows all of the parts. It shows our eyes and we see, and our nose that we now know we smell from, taste, and we touch. And our ears will go here and we use those to hear. Okay, so I already cut out my nose, right, and we smell from that. And we're going to attach that into these little slits here. And if you need any help, you can ask your neighbor or you can raise your hand and I will come around and I will help you out with that. Okay, so with our nose we smell. And then we're going to attach our ears. Right? And what do we do with our ears? That's right, we hear with our ears. And we're going to take our string, put it through, and we can attach our ears like that. Okay, and when we're done, your mask will look like this. Okay, so what you're going to do once you're finished with your mask is we are going to turn to our neighbor, and you're going to name something that you do with one of your senses. So let me show you. For example, I'm going to turn to my neighbor here, and I'm going to say, I see my notebook on my desk. Okay, so you can name something that you hear or you see or you smell, something like that. Discuss with your neighbor now. Okay, I'll give you some time to do that. Okay, is everyone done? Great. Now what our next activity is going to be is we're going to use our senses and we're going to fill in our 5 senses recording sheet. Okay, so everyone's going to get a sheet that looks like this, and our errand monitor is going to come up and they're going to take their materials for their group. So I'm going to show you what I would do. For example, we're going to do smell all the way at the top here. Okay, smell. And which part of our body do we smell with? Excellent, our noses, right? Our nose right here. Okay, so in our box with our smells, we have some cups. Okay, and there's some cinnamon in this cup, if you can see. Okay, there's some cinnamon. And this one is, there's some peanut butter. And then we have a Q-tip here. Okay, that's been dipped into perfume. And we have some chocolate. Okay, and so what you're going to do is you're going to take your cup and you're going to smell it. And you can kind of describe what that smell is, if you know what it is, or if you don't, or you can say maybe it smells sweet, or it smells yucky, or whatever you think it is. And so I'm going to write down smell. I smelled cinnamon. Okay, and so I smelled cinnamon. So that's what I'm writing in that spot right there. Or you could draw a picture if you rather, whatever's easiest for you. Okay, so we're going to go through this whole sheet. On your desk you have all the materials because your errand monitor got that stuff for you. We have smell, taste, hearing, touch, and sight. Okay, so let's go through. Smell is nose, good. Taste, mouth, good. Hearing, with your ears, very good. Touch, with your fingers, and sight with your eyes. Perfect. Okay, and then what we're going to do after all this, I'm going to give you the rest of the class time to do that project. And for homework, you're going to get a packet like this. Okay, and this is called My 5 Senses Journal. And it's going to be very similar to what we just did in class, but you're going to have different pages. And at the top of each page, it says touch. I can touch, right? We did fingers, and hearing, and taste, and smell, and see. And so what you're going to do for each of these is you're going to go around your own house or whatever you see on your way home from school, and you can fill in these pages. You can either write the word or you can draw pictures like I did here. So for example, I can touch. Let's see what I can touch here. Okay, so I can touch a ball over here, or I can touch a feather, or some ice, right? And ice is going to be cold. And if you would really like to, you can write a sentence at the bottom. I can touch ice. Okay, so that's up to you if you would like to do that or not. And so I'm going to give you the rest of the class time now to finish your recording sheets. And if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand and I will come around and help you.